Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Wordy, my hub for all of the words that I read, write, or otherwise want to yap about. Today, I have a very special author guest for you guys. She is the number one New York Times best-selling author. First of all, this is my first New York Times best-selling author interview. Milestones, everybody. The number one Wall Street Journal best-selling and number one Audible best-selling author. What a stack. That's crazy. Flex. Known for her contemporary romance style that's sexy, feel good, and witty. Her books have also been featured in Us Weekly and People. Yes, get it. Please welcome Lauren Blakely to the show. Lauren, welcome to Talk Wordy.
Hey, Sydney, it's so great to be here. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
Absolutely. I love doing like author guest intros. And I love just getting to like highlight all of the accomplishments, the lists, the rankings, wherever they have them, because it's like, oh, one day this could be me, but also the fact that they have it, it's like possible for all of us. And I think that's so cool. Congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you so much.
Um,
And I really do think it is possible and I think that's what indie publishing has done just, over the last decade or so has really opened up the possibilities. And that's, I think, why we've seen so many amazing romance novels.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, before we get into our author-based questions, what I like to do with my guests is talk a little bit about what we are reading, watching, and listening to. What I have been reading, watching, and listening to. I am still reading People We Met on Vacation. My last author guest I had just started, but I need to finish the book before I watch the movie. That's just like something about me that I can't compromise. But also, I am reading an e-arc that my friend Cassie, she is releasing her debut book on the 20th. It's called Love en Route. I actually had the privilege of like kind of mentoring her a little bit because she was torn between like what route of publishing she wanted to take. So the fact that she's going indie and I have her copy in my like on my laptop is everything to me. What about you? What have you been reading?
So I've been listening to If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I kind of wanted to get a sense like, okay, what this book has not only been incredibly popular, it's also beloved by anybody who has read or listened to it. I'm like, I need to know why. And let me tell you, I'm halfway through and I'm like, I get it. It is very listenable, very good. And there's just this wonderful, slow burn, character driven tension. And it's really nice, Sydney, to listen to a book where they're not text messaging. Even though I love writing text message banter, I love having to deal with the realities of the modern world. It is sort of fascinating to go back in time because it takes place in the 90s in this world where the business is faxing to other where reviews are written in the guest book and not online on Yelp or like there's none of that immediate gratification of the phone. So it's kind of fascinating. I'm also listening to Kristen Callahan's on game day because I'm going to be doing an author event with her and I'm enjoying that as well. And I watched People We Meet on Vacation the other night because I had listened to the book and the movie's so good. Absolutely loved it. So I can't wait to hear what you think of the movie.
I know one of my girlfriends, she is like, we need to watch it. I'm ready when you are. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm sorry. Cause it came out what on like Friday or
So
something.
good.
And it's been like 4 days. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I'm having extreme FOMO. Hopefully I will finish that book within the next 24 to 48 hours. Watching wise, I think I forgot to say what I'm watching. I have started my Hunger Games rewatch. I feel like I rewatch the Hunger Games at least twice a year. It's just such a cornerstone. I don't want to say comfort series because it's not comfy, but it's a cornerstone, not a comfort series, but a cornerstone series. It's so revolutionary for the genre, but also it's something that I discovered in like my young adolescence. And so it just stays with me. Catching Fire, I will say, is probably like one of my favorite, if not my like voted best adaptations I've ever seen, book to movie. It's so good. Um, and then also, I am done. I just finished the ALC of Just Breaking the Rules
Oh.
using my ever loving mind. I forgot to mention that with reading. And then listening wise, I I have been obsessed with Christine Riccio for years. I got to meet her, God, 2 days ago. I went to her book tour stop in Austin, and she has a podcast called Those Forking Fangirls. I have to enunciate, otherwise it's going to sound like I'm dropping the F bomb. But she and her friend Natasha have a like pop culture fandom bookish podcast called Those Forking Fangirls. And when Christine went on her tour stop, she didn't have a moderator set up until like close to the event. And her friend that she does a podcast with decided to help moderate the event. So it was like I got to not just meet like a favorite author, bookish creator figure, but like a live podcast episode, and I died dead. Died dead. So I've had a good stretch of reading, watching, listening to. Is there anything I missed for you? Oh, we haven't talked about have you been watching anything else besides People We Meet on Vacation?
I have been going through, well, I was binging holiday movies pretty much from October through January 5th or 6th. So now I have had to emerge from the snow and the flickering Christmas lights and the Christmas music and the aprons and cookies being baked constantly into more traditional real world, if you will, because the Christmas world is a huge escape. There's a series I've been watching on and off for the last year called Girls Five Eva. I think it's a few years old. It has Renee Elise Goldsberry, Sarah, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, the singer Barai.
Oh, Borelli's?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I'm terrible with
Oh,
pronunciation.
you're good.
Usually I write instead of trying to pronounce things. And it's written by Tina Fey, and it's just this hilarious spoofy show about four women who are probably in their 30s, late 30s and 40s now, who were formerly in a girl group, and they're getting it back together. It's a blast. I think it's on Hulu.
I
So I love it. It's goofy and silly and just so much fun and great singing.
love it. Okay. I'm going to pick up from what you were talking about fading away from Christmas, because as a Christmas girly, it was very sad. It was a troubling time. I could listen to Christmas music for the rest of my life. Absolutely no shame. But talking more about like the little cookies baking aspect, um, I have to talk about Just Breaking the Rules, because I feel like a lot of the books I've read about baking, like it's very like small town, only small town, and like baking is like the cornerstone. I thought it was so interesting that it was small town, baking, but also hockey. So anybody who has not read the book, obviously it's not out yet, but like who hasn't heard about the book, they're probably thinking, Sydney, what are you talking about? So I'm going to leave that to you. Tell our listeners a little bit about your upcoming release, please, because I'm just going to blab about it forever.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, Just Breaking the Rules is book one in my brand new spicy hockey rom-com series, Hockey Ever After. And it answers the burning question of like what happens if you open a small town bakery with your brother's hot hockey star best friend. I really wanted to the concept of the book came because I wanted to write. I was enchanted with the idea of this strapping, fantastic professional athlete who loves to bake. I just thought that's such a wonderful visual. It's just so cozy and sexy at the same time, right? Like we love a man who bakes. And I thought, okay, well, what if he actually opens a bakery? Like that's just kind of a fun thing to do with a professional athlete. That's where the idea came from. So he opens, well, she is really kind of the impetus behind opening a bakery. Our heroine Mabel's a bit of a hot mess. She's chaotic. She's really been trying to start her own bakery. She's kind of had like a pop-up bakery throughout the city of San Francisco, but really wants like her own storefront and keeps getting turned down. And she has a little bit of a cake fiasco at a cake contest. But then, as luck would have it, she inherits an abandoned firehouse from her grandmother. And oh my God, it has a kitchen that's perfect for baking. So she's finally able to open her own bakery, but needs a little investment. So Corbin comes in, he's able to provide the investment, and he maybe possibly has kind of had like a slow burn thing for her for the last 7 years as he's gotten to know her a little bit. She is his, best friend's sister. So chaos and baking and hockey ensue. And the balance of the two was complicated because when I first started writing it, I was so enamored of the baking, Sydney. I was having such a great time, like imagining her starting this bakery, and it's like a fantasy, right? Like who doesn't want to own a bakery or a bookstore and just like pop in and grab the cupcake and grab the book and not have to deal with the realities of it. So in the fictional world, that's what you get to do, right? But I realized when I was about 7 chapters in, I'm like, oh my God, there's no hockey. I'm a hockey author. So I need to go back in and make sure I have woven hockey throughout the story. So there was this constant balance of making sure that I was getting the hockey romance and the sports scenes in there that are of course necessary for a hockey romance, as well as the baking and the romance clearly. So hopefully readers and listeners will feel that I did.
It's funny that you got kind of lost in the sauce of baking. Also, I love that you put an addition of the fact that like who doesn't want to own a bakery or a bookstore? I was like, I feel like there's two kinds of people in this world. The people that want to open a bakery and the people that want to open a bookstore. So I feel called out. I feel seen. But I like that you mentioned getting lost in the baking and realizing, oh, wait, like I'm a hockey author. So yeah, hockey seems to be the sport slash setting that you're always coming back to. What about hockey most resonates with you and makes it something that you love writing about so frequently?
It's the sport that readers love. Honestly, I mean, just to be if I told you anything else, other things I've said publicly would contradict that. But this is really I enjoy sports. I like watching sports. I am definitely a sports fan. Um, but romance came first, and I was sort of first, like a lot of us readers, sort of first exposed to hockey by reading hockey romance, reading Serena Bowen, Elle Kennedy, Helena Hunting. And that's kind of what got me, like many, like many of us, much more interested in the sport. I had kind of grown up a baseball fan. I had become a football fan. I have written both of those sports as well. I have sports romances in those worlds. But really seeing how much readers were obsessed with hockey and how I became obsessed with it as well as a reader is when I said, okay, I'm ready for another sports romance. Let's try hockey. And also, my first kind of big hockey romance, if you will, was Double Pucked. And that was written, very deliberately. Like I saw an opportunity. I had this idea for the story, and kind of the zany way that it would start. It's in, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's an MFM hockey romance where she gets revenge against her cheating boyfriend by getting together with two hockey rivals who he's obsessed with. And, you know, they live happily ever after as a throuple. But I saw market opportunities, what was happening with Emily Rath and how people were loving pucking around. And of course, I wasn't going to be able to do something as big as pucking around, but I thought, I want to really have fun and play in this hockey rom-com space. So that's kind of what got me into it. And then when I finished the polyamorous hockey series, I started an MF hockey series with Love and Hockey, which is the one that I just finished up. And I think once you start writing about hockey, it's hard not to kind of fall in love with the sport as well. I mean, it's fast paced, it's exciting. Um, it's really freaking hard. Like, how do they do it on blades, And then there's always that threat of violence, which is interesting to watch, like, are they going to get into a fight? And then I think that speaks to that deep part of so many of us, like, will he fight for me?
You
So there
cooked
you
there. You cooked. That was good. I was like, ooh.
go. And
So,
yes.
yeah. So, obviously, let's talk about Love and Hockey for a second. That was a 6 book series that you just wrapped up. Oh my goodness. Did you always know that it was going to be 6 books, or was it something that just like gradually expanded as you like really tapped into the series?
Originally, I conceived it as 4 books. I definitely knew that's what it would be from the start. And I really try to listen to the marketplace. I try to listen to readers and make sure that I'm putting out books that, frankly, they're going to be interested in. That's when writing is the most exciting for me. And, I'm hopefully able to deliver books that people want. That's sort of the goal. So I kind of knew maybe a month into the release of the boyfriend goal, I said, okay, I feel like people are connecting with this. It's getting the response that I had hoped it would. So that's when I knew that the hero in book 4 would have a brother and he would be a single dad and become the hero in book 5, The Overtime Kiss. And then I added on the 6th book. A
My
few months
God.
later, I'm like, okay. And also, I added on the 6th book, The Flirting Game, because I also work with Audible and I do occasional Audible originals where they release a book first in audio and they really wanted a hockey romance. I thought, okay, well, that's perfect. Why don't I do a 6th book in my Love and Hockey series? You get to release it first, and then, it'll kind of be the coda to that series. So that's what The Flirting Game was, which just came out in late December of 2025, which feels like ages ago now.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've lived a lot of life in the first, what, 12 days of this year.
Exactly.
Oh,
Really? It's still 1 year?
I know. Something happened. Like people we met on vacation came out, and that came out on the 9th. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it's been forever since like I've been waiting for this to come out. And I looked at the calendar. I was like, it's been 9 days of the new year. And it's like in Friends when it's the second day of January and Ross is in those terrible leather pants and he's like, this was supposed to be my year. Ugh. Anyways, I want to go back to Just Breaking the Rules because something I love about rom-coms is just like the hijinks of everything. But I really love how in this book, Mabel is a character that is just constantly slipping up, getting into these hijinks, getting into these sticky situations, both literally and figuratively. Um, for our listeners who might relate to her, what pieces of encouragement would you want to offer them?
Yeah, so Mabel, she finds herself in the very first chapter, falling into a cake, and I think that probably the piece of advice I would give, I thought about this for a while when you shared that question with me, is it's what you do next that matters. Like we are going to slip up. It's going to happen. We're going to, say something embarrassing on a podcast. Then you'll edit it out. But like these things are going to happen. We're going to make the mistakes. So I think it's a matter of like giving yourself grace and knowing that it's going to happen. And then think like, who is the person I want to be who comes out of this mistake? Like, how do I handle it? Whether it's a mistake in a friendship and you need to apologize to somebody, or whether it's something that happened in business, just kind of owning it. I think that is what I hope to take my characters through. And I think that's part of the journey that Mabel goes on in this book. Like she's made some mistakes and most of them aren't terrible. Like she, hasn't really, I think, harmed anybody in a devastating way, but she needs to sort of acknowledge and kind of move past some of the things that she feels has hampered her in the past. And that's part of the journey that she goes on. And sometimes that's as simple as, like bringing somebody cookies and like, here you go, like bringing it to different shops in town, like reintroducing herself to the town and, just kind of like owning, like she's here now, she's an adult, she's moving beyond. One of the things that happened in the past is there was sort of an incident where she inadvertently gave sugar cookies to some llamas at an animal sanctuary and they like made a big mess at a fire station. So she's just got like a little bit of a reputation as being like a hot mess. So some of it is not hiding and just kind of being like, okay, here I am. I'm here. I'm part of this and I'm, trying to move on.
Yeah. I love that you said it's what you do next that matters. I know I myself am going to need to like write that down and commit it permanently.
I have to
um,
remind myself of that on a daily basis.
yeah. Hot Mess Express goes real. Um, can you tease it? Listen, I understand that like you just released another book, you have one coming out. Can you tease anything about what's coming next?
Oh, sure. Yeah. After my first Talkie Ever After book, I have a release in March called It Seemed Like a Good Idea. And that's also the launch of a new series. So I'm launching 2 new series this year. It Seemed Like a Good Idea is a small town rom com. I'm doing that in partnership with Cosmo Reads, which is part of Source Books. So there is, actually, I'm going to grab a copy. So hold on.
Also, I'm positively obsessed with Cosmo Reed, so the jealousy is just radiating. Oh
Okay.
my
So both
gosh.
gorgeous. I mean, the entire first edition, the first printing is just going to have these beautiful lavender sprayed edges, and then I don't even know if people are going to be able to see this, but the inside has like end papers with lavender flowers. Our heroine in here is a small town lavender farmer, um, who has a forbidden romance with her bodyguard. And why does a lavender farmer need a bodyguard? You might be wondering. She's just a regular woman after all. Well, she happens to have an identical twin who is a rising star in Hollywood, and a movie is being shot on her lavender farm. So naturally, she needs a bodyguard as well, just to make sure everything goes okay. And he happens to be the sexy jerk who walked out on an almost one night stand a month ago. So, oh my God, what is going to happen when they're back together? I love bodyguard romances. I just do. That is one of my id tropes, but they're very hard to write because they're so specific. You
Mhm.
know, like you don't, there's only a few situations where you need a bodyguard. And I didn't really want to write a rock star romance. I didn't want to write I didn't want her to be an actress. I didn't want to write a story where, politician. Ugh, yeah, no interest in that where she needs it, or like she's the daughter of a politician. So I had to kind of come up with a reason why the regular woman needs a bodyguard. So yeah, if I can come up with other reasons, I'll do more bodyguard romance. So I just love a protective, just like the broody tattooed bodyguard, because it's such great conflict. Oh, I can't touch you, but I want to so much,
The angst is unreal because I feel like the teen angst we get from like YA, I feel like the bodyguard trope is such a great way to kind of capture that teen angst, but in like a more adult audience. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I'm
Yes, I
already
think it
like
has
foaming
to.
at the mouth for
But
this one.
he has to stay away from her. It's his job, but it's so hard. They're so perfect for each other. What will happen?
Forced proximity with the mindset of I must stay away is everything to me.
Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely everything. Also, major props because again, I love Cosmo Reads. Cosmo Reads, because that's a new imprint. It came from Source Books and Hearst, I think, or just straight Cosmo. But oh my gosh, everything they've been putting out. I have a friend who is releasing with them. She Alyssa DeRogatis, she's doing How to Find Love in the Cereal Aisle. Um, she's awesome. And then I'm actually seeing like a virtual interview with Iman Hariri Kia, who did Female Fantasy. Cosmo Reads just knows what to put out. And so the fact that like you're with them, sat. Immediately sat. If I wasn't already, because the book that I just read was incredible. Okay, now selfishly, I have to know since we've been talking about the bodyguard trope, what are your other like it tropes? Like they are it. You could just write either you could write like a multitude of those books because of that trope, or like even as a reader where you're like, this is for me. I am the target audience. What are those tropes for you?
Say it's friends to lovers or fake dating. I absolutely love friends to lovers, and I'm making sure that I include it in Hockey Ever After. That probably be book 3 or 4. I'm not certain which one will be friends to lovers romance. I just think it's kind of like the bodyguard trope in that it is a natural conflict. Like you don't have to say, oh, well, it's a rule not to date your brother's best friend or whatever. Like friends to lovers is a legitimate conflict because you don't want to ruin the friendship. And just that the way that like somebody already, you care about them, and does she, like just that tension, I think is very good. And fake dating, I don't know, just have a blast with it. I do a lot of fake dating, and I have to constantly put on the brakes so I'm not adding more fake dating to stories that don't need fake dating.
That's fair. I understand. Okay, so moving a little bit away from books. I was talking to you about this before we actually kicked off the episode, but you are not just like an animal person. You are very passionate about animal fostering and adoption. I want you, if you will, please explain your journey into getting into this more than just the average animal lover, because there is a big difference. But tell me a little bit about how that came to be for you.
Yeah, I'm a dog person, but I also am a cat person as well, but sort of dogs first, but I have dogs and cats, a lot of them, just slightly under 10 total. So mine keep me quite busy, and I'm a big rescue animal advocate. All of mine are rescues, and just really started when my husband and I adopted our first dog before we got married many years ago. And just kind of our menagerie grew from there over time. And then once you adopt that second dog, man, it's just the floodgates are unleashed. You're like, got two dogs. How about three? Three. How about four? Four. I'll take five now. You sort of realize, like, once you add the second one, it's all very manageable. And you realize, like, how manageable it is to have them. But I think also, as I adopted a few more pets and just became more involved with animal rescue and just kind of learning about some of the situations that unfortunately animals are in, and the sad fact that there are more adoptable animals than there are homes, it just kind of helped me to it just led to me becoming more passionate about supporting them, contributing some proceeds from my books to animal rescue, and just helping these organizations that are doing amazing work, like on the ground, really trying to find homes for them. So I started fostering in about 2016, and maybe it was 2017, fostered like a number of puppies and dogs through various rescues in California where I lived at the time. And then one of them became a foster fail, which means she imprinted on us and we had to adopt her. So we kind of paused the fostering for a little while. And then after I moved to Washington State and once COVID had passed, I got back into fostering again. And it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding because you can kind of see the animal blossom, if you will. Like when one of the fosters I had over the summer was this mama dog, like a little Chihuahua named Mona, who had come up from Texas actually, and she had given birth in in a Good Samaritan's yard, and they helped connect her with a Washington rescue that knew they would be able to find a home for her, and they brought her and her puppies up, and they all went to fosters, but she just needed a little bit of time to decompress. Now I feel safe around people and to get spayed and all of that. So I feel like I can give her that safe space to land and feel comfortable, like in a crate, and interacting with other dogs and learning a few basic rules. And just, so, yeah, sorry, I could go on and on forever about them, but I just love it. And then I keep in touch with her family, and they'll send me updates, like once or twice a year, just how she's doing and how the other fosters that I have are doing. And I think it's a wonderful way to kind of help them transition from a very crowded shelter life where they, might not have had the life for much longer, and just have an opportunity to just kind of uh, experience human companionship in a very compassionate, loving way before they find their forever home.
Yeah.
Sorry, I probably went on too long.
Oh, you're fine. This is your time, girl. Um, So, for all of our readers out there who love animals and are passionate about fostering or adopting them, obviously, one of the posters behind you, I see two little dogs in the cover. Which of your books, you don't have to name all of them, but like if you know a couple off the top of your head, do you have any books in your catalog that like really highlight that passion of yours or like include like the animal lover aspect?
Yeah, probably all of them recently. It's very hard for me not to write dogs anymore. Um, but yeah, I would say in Just Breaking the Rules, they do a little bit of dog fostering, but also in the Love and Hockey series, you'll definitely see dogs coming in and out of most of those books. Like book 4, for instance, The Girlfriend Zone, our hero Miles, his mother, I don't know where I came up with this idea, has 4 chihuahuas. I'm just really not sure where that came from at all. And he plays a very active role in helping to dog sit them when his mom is traveling. Because with a hockey player, you kind of have to balance the schedule. It's hard for them to have a dog because they're traveling so much. So I had to kind of find creative ways for hockey players to take care of dogs. So I'd say that's one that definitely highlights that. But the flirting game, especially, our hero Ford has a dog, and our heroine Skylar has a very naughty, sarcastic rescue doxy mix who is so clever and charming that he is a pup fluencer, and he has a Simon Side Eye is his name, and he has his own line of dog merch, where he like takes he as if he's taking a picture, takes pictures of his paws placed together, and he has this line like just posing for my only paws channel, and he sells them on Instagram. Dogstagram. Sorry. Anyway, the flirting game really highlights that. Like this is a problem. I could go on and on about the dog characters in my books. He's based on like every sassy doxy I follow on Instagram.
Do you have like your next, I don't want to say wish list, but do you have like your next prospective animal that you're wanting to adopt?
Well, my daughter, who is a junior in college, yeah, she really loves dachshunds, and so she is very interested in adopting if she can find like a long-haired dachshund through a dachshund rescue that she can adopt, and she's even picked out the name for it. She wants to name it Lulu. So she knows that I'm kind of keeping an eye on dachshund rescues just to kind of see like good ones around the country, and when she's ready, who knows when that'll be. So right now I'm kind of doing some preliminary scouting for
Yeah.
Lulu for future Lulus.
And then do you have any specific charities or organizations for, animal support wise that you want more people to know about?
I always tell people just kind of look in your hometown. And for me, I'm in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, and I foster through Doggone Seattle and also through the NOAA Center. I love both of those organizations for different reasons and am actively supporting them as well as fostering them. But like they're just different ones all over the country. In Minnesota, the Bond Between is an amazing shelter. There's another one called I Heart Dogs Rescue. I think that might also actually be in Minnesota as well. There's plenty that I support in Texas, Paulicious Poochie Rescue in Florida. I mean, they're all over the place. So I would just say if anybody is interested in, fostering, volunteering, making a donation, whatever is affordable to you, just see what's near you, and you'll kind of be amazed that there's usually big and small animal rescue places all over the country.
Love that. Okay, I realized I forgot to ask you a very specific question while we were on the topic of baking, so I am going to circle back.
All right.
If you could meet with any famous figure, you know exactly where I'm going with this. If you could meet any famous figure, dead or alive, over dessert, who would it be? And what dessert would you be eating? This is very important. There is no right or wrong answer, but it is very important that I know who and what you would pick.
This is a good question. It's a question that has been asked of other people in the past. And I don't think I've ever had a good answer when I've thought about it until you asked me, because I finally know who the person is. I would love to sit down with Lin-Manuel Miranda. I am absolutely obsessed with Hamilton. I think he is a genius. Everything I see about him, he seems like a legitimately nice guy too, with a lot to say. So I would just love, like, I would love to sit down and be like, how did you write like three different versions of Sense in the Reynolds family? Like, whatever one should think.
Yeah.
If you're a Hamilton nerd, like you know what I'm talking about. Like you use it like sense and it's CENTS. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna go deep into Hamilton lore right now. I'm not. But like I would just love to hear everything about the process and like where is your head at now, like how do these words, like every time I listen to it I'm like, how did you come up with these variations of like how does a bastard orphan son of a whore, like how
Yeah.
did that happen, which is also like an annoying question because how do you answer it, like dude, I am a genius, that's how I came up with it, like I am an artistic genius. But I would love to have like salted caramel tiramisu
Ooh,
with him and just hear more about what is happening in his brain.
exactly. I feel like he's one of those people that when he has like even the spark of an idea, maybe not fully formed, you can see it in his eyes. And I'm just like, please tell me how your brain works. It's
Yes,
so
yes, exactly.
fascinating.
Yeah.
No, deep, deep Hamilton nerd over here. I would be positively insufferable if I ever met with him over dessert. Um, I have to know favorite Hamilton tracks. What do you got?
Oh my God, all of them. I mean, the room where it happens is pretty good. That's pretty hard to beat. I also think probably, who lives, who dies, who tells your story. But yeah, I guess that one probably gets me every time. and the election of 1800 and
Mm.
I
Underrated. That one
like
I
it's
feel like nobody
so
talks
like
about.
because that's when Burr snaps. You know, the election of 1800 is like when you're building into the climax of the show when it's like he finds out that Hamilton endorsed Jefferson and it's like he fills with rage and anger and it turns into the climactic moment and I saw Leslie Odom Jr. reprise the role in the fall. Oh
Oh,
my god, Sydney, it was worth it. It was worth it.
oh,
I
I
it was
bet.
just he's phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal and like he cried on stage like in the end when he fully comprehends the actions of what he's done. And I'm like, I cannot believe I'm in this theater watching this incredible performance and this man is actually in tears on stage to the degree we had to take out like a tissue during the curtain call. Oh my god, it was phenomenal. No notes. I had no notes on Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh no. My
What about you?
gosh.
What is your favorite track?
Oh, okay. I'm not going to pull out the track list because I feel like that's cheating.
It is.
I will say, as much as I want to be a Hamilton and say that like I go after everything, I am a scaredy cat to my core. I feel like I really relate to Wait for It, but it's not my favorite track. It's very like it reads me to filth. And therefore, like it's good, but I don't want to be like, that's my favorite. That's my soul song. Um, gosh, Room Where It Happened is so good. The entire there's like a run of like 5 songs that are just so good. It's What Did I Miss? Cabinet Battle number 1,
Yes,
Take a Break,
yes.
Say No to This, and Room Where It Happened. That track run right there, no notes. None. None. So somewhere in there, Room Where It Happened, um, and I love Thomas Jefferson. I'm sorry. I think What Did I Miss is one of my favorites just because he's dancing around the place and his personality is like 100 watts. It's
Perfect. Like,
so good.
France. You know, I just like when you listen
France.
to it,
What?
you can act it out every time.
Yes.
Okay, and since you are a Hamilton nerd, like one of the other things I love is the Battle of Yorktown, but like when it's like, we won, we won, we won, gonna you start a new nation, gonna meet my son. I'm like, what a wild lyric. Like, gonna start a new nation, gonna meet my son. I'm like, oh my God, like that is just it's so uplifting.
Yeah. That song
Just like get
specifically,
excited.
there was, I want to say it was the Tonys, but I'm not entirely sure. There was a performance that they did the Battle of Yorktown, but they did it without the prop guns. And it was just so emotional. I think that was the first time where I was just like, where you're just sitting there making no sound, but tears are like streaming down your face. That was the specific performance that did it for me. Because do I love Act One? Yes, I love Act One. It's wonderful. I'm such an Act Two girly. I fear. I love it so much because um in Take a Break, he says they think me Macbeth, and then his entire life just goes to
Oh,
shit. And
yep,
it,
yep,
as a theater geek, yes,
yes.
yes, yes, yes. They literally say Macbeth on stage every single performance, and it's such
Oh.
like a perfect reflection of the story. And I feel like I could write a college APA essay on this, but I
And
think
there are
that
so few shows where Act Two is as strong as Act One.
yes,
Most of the time, it just it falls apart a little bit. It's just not quite as good. Wicked, but still, like Wicked has a solid on stage, has a solid Act Two, but Act One is amazing.
correct.
Um, and I think it's one Hamilton. I think it's just one of those rare shows where it's just
Yeah,
consistently like
absolutely
at
perfect.
like there's like only one song I don't totally love, and it's probably Hurricane.
Thank you so much. That's my only skip. That is
Yeah,
genuinely my only skip. I'm
yeah,
talking, I love Farmer Refuted.
yes, I know, me too.
Still skip Hurricane.
Like, listen to that one. I know.
I love that one. And Thane Jefferson being in the cast for 10 years. What a guy. I
Yeah.
know that soundtrack haunts him.
Yeah. And he makes it fresh every night. I mean, when I saw him in the Leslie reprisal, I thought, wow, like you don't seem, this does not seem like you're phoning it in.
Mm.
Like it's amazing to do that for 10 years and not seem like you're phoning it in. So kudos to Thane.
Yeah. There's also I don't think he's in the show anymore, but there was a like a principal dancer for Hamilton. He's big on TikTok. Like he shows his behind the scenes life, and like I got to watch him from the minute he like booked the role to his last show, and like seeing him like, this is me before my last number, and then he comes back and he's just dripping sweat. He's like, I finished my run, and I was like,
Is that the guy who went to Catch Me If You Can in
yes.
Chicago? What is his name? He's adorable. I'm totally spacing on his
Don't
name, but yes,
know. I feel like it's gonna hit me as soon as we
as
finish.
soon as we end this podcast, it's going to hit us. But yes, he's amazing. His behind the scenes on TikTok were so, so good.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love that we ended this talking about going on our deep Hamilton dive. You were like, I'm not gonna get into Hamilton right now. I'm like, you're not? I'll do it. It's okay. Oh my gosh. Lauren, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
So,
Um,
Sydney?
to wrap this up, will you please tell our listeners where they can find you, where they can find your books, social medias, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Lauren Blakely Books and TikTok as well. And you can find, many of my books in bookstores, but you can also find all of them on Kindle. Lauren Blakely, of course, is the name, and everything is available on Audible as well. And the audios are often done in duet. Just Breaking the Rules is done in duet, and I think Samantha Brentmore and Teddy Hamilton did an amazing job. So if you are an audio fan, check it out.
They killed the audiobook. I did not expect duet. And I know in the beginning they're like duet narrated by, Samantha Brentmore and Teddy Hamilton. Sometimes I skip the like intro slide and just go straight to chapter one. And so when I heard like, I think Teddy's voice came in second.
Yeah.
When I heard him, I was like, Teddy Hamilton, it's duet. Oh my God. Like I freaked out. The production was incredible for Just Breaking the Rules.
Yeah.
And you did not even tell me to say that. Like I'm just straight up saying if you are an audiobook listener, you guys, you need to go listen to this one. I'm jazzed. The book was so fun. I can't wait to like deep dive more into your catalog, and I'm excited for more of our listeners to become readers of yours. It's going to be magical. Again, thank you so, so much for coming on the show. And you guys, until the next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.